All right, let's talk CJ Stroud here. What a performance from CJ Stroud. A season that early on people were wondering, is this a lost year? This offense not getting anything going. But we've seen it look significantly better as of late. Even that Seahawks game, Seahawks have a good defense. That wasn't ideal, but good performance against the Titans. Great performance against a bad Ravens defense. There was then that Seahawks game, and then this week being able to once again have a good performance. Let's talk about what they did right in this one. First, just something like this, which is simple, but they have not succeeded at this too much this season, which is having a player running a one-on-one matchup and just being able to win in this situation. Something they very much struggled with this year. It's Jalen Noel, who they haven't used a lot. Only 162 total yards on the season, even after this impressive game where he had a decent chunk of them in this game. But running a one-on-one matchup, and I think he's going to kind of earn more looks like this, because 3rd and 4, obvious passing situation. Stroud is going to take the snap. There's a blitz, but it's picked up nicely. Hey, that's worth noting, because and we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but that's been a big thing. That was a real struggle for the Texans the first couple games. They couldn't pick up blitzes. They pick up that blitz. You now have Noel winning this one-on-one matchup. Stroud hits them, and they're able to get that conversion. And again, we can say it's the 49ers banged up defense all we want, and it is. That's fair. That's a fair thing to mention, right? But the reality is the Texans early on this season, they weren't picking up blitzes and winning one-on-one matchups down the field against anybody. So to be able to do it here, that's important. And, Upton Stout is maybe not an elite corner. He's the one that got beat there. But still, you're taking advantage of your opponent's depth players that are in the lineup, right? It's not the most impressive play because of the defense you're going up against, but it's stuff they weren't doing earlier and they're doing now. Guess what? Throughout the season, you're going to play some depth corners. You got to take advantage, and that's what they were able to do on this play. Also, this one, it's going to be a 2nd down and 5 situation. Man coverage across the board. And, again, it's fair to say there was some beating up on the Niners defense not playing great. Watch as when Stroud takes the snap, you see right here, there is a player who they have just left wide open. It's running back Woody Marks, who right here, they blew the coverage. Someone was supposed to cover him. No one is. Stroud, to his credit, realizes this. Watch him flip it to Marks, and Marks is off to the races. So I'll pause it right here. At this point, this is already a big play. This is mostly due to the bad defense. It's a good job by the Texans to take advantage of bad defensive plays. That's something I talk about a lot on this channel, is good offenses take advantage of that. But still, at this point, you could totally say, him getting to the 50-yard line, more on the 49ers defense. But guess what? He's not going to get to the 50-yard line. Instead, watch him make a move, and he gets all the way to around the 33-yard line there. So he gains another 17 yards or so after what you would expect, after he already had a big gain due to the 49ers blowing a coverage. So, again, sure, some not great defensive plays, but they were making the most of them, and that's what you like to see if you're a Texans fan. This one, another one, it's a zone coverage concept. Receiver towards the bottom of the screen is going to kind of try and clear out the kind of deep left-hand corner for the offense, and then you have another receiver starting on the right side of the field for the offense who's going to hopefully get to where now nobody is. Watch as when Stroud takes the snap, you're going to see, again, blocked well enough that he's able to have a clean pocket, throws down the field. Jalen Noel, there is a window for him. It's not a huge window, but there's a window for Stroud to make this throw. Stroud does exactly that. They do pick up a big completion and are able to, keep the ball moving forward. So, yeah, again, it's really good stuff here. This is not bad defense. This is just good execution by the Texans. And also, I want to talk about the blitzing a little bit more and handling the blitz. Something, like I said, they really struggled with this early on, but that is something you can improve on as the season progresses. So here, this is one of the ways you can improve on it. I already showed just picking up the blitz, right? Everyone blocking the right guy. Here's a different way you could do it. So the 49ers are showing man coverage. They have 2 safeties who are deep, though. So there's several things they could be doing. You see that player who is in the slot for the towards the left for the Texans. Watch how when this begins. See, the player who was lined up against him, he now rushes the passer. So this is what you do. You have a player who is lined up against, someone close to the line of scrimmage. Instead, rush the passer. The safety will then drop back, and he will be the guy who covers that receiver. And this is a way you can potentially get a guy to get to the quarterback untouched. Two things. One, Texans are all over this. They have the blocking set, so really good stuff on that end. The second thing is what Stroud is going to do. Watch how he takes advantage of that, because now the safety is further off because of the scheme, and they're able to get a first down right there. That is good stuff all around from the Texans, a team that had really struggled with that earlier this year. This play as well is one I definitely have to bring up, where you see the player who I've circled in black, that player is going to be rushing the passer here. Watch as he's going to get through. He's going to get through untouched. So this was kind of the one, there's maybe one or two where it's like, I could have done that better, which again, playing a defense that blitzes a lot, you're not going to bat 1,000 there, right? But here's another way that you can avoid something like this. Well, watch Stroud sidestep that pressure, and now with his speed, watch him pick up the first down on a 2nd down and 8. So that was something that you really like to see if you are a Texans fan, is how good of a job they did. Despite the 49ers consistently blitzing to try to generate pressure, they did not sack CJ Stroud once in this game, and to me, that was the difference. Whereas in previous weeks, Stroud would get sacked 1,000 times in situations like this. Another thing the Texans just did really well of, I thought, was just the run the ball and then run play action off of Woody Marks had 5.6 yards per carry. Now they're going to run a play action on the play you see on your screen, then try to hit a receiver going over the middle. When Stroud takes the snap, you're going to see that, right here, it's open enough. Like, definitely the linebackers bite on this play action a bit more than I think you would like if you're a 49ers fan. Stroud gets it there quickly. Again, just well executed by the entire offense, right? Good play call at the right time to fool the 49ers, so there was that aspect of it. But again, as a play caller, all you can do is put your players in position to succeed, and that's what happened. But also, this one was a really good example as well, where it's going to not be quite as clean. You have same concept, play action, receiver going over the middle. But when Stroud takes the snap, this is one of the few times that you did see some pressure just by a straight up win. Blocking was very good in this game for Houston, something we haven't heard a lot this season. Part of that probably just not a great D-line going up against. But nonetheless, there's pressure here. Stroud has to deal with it. Watch CJ Stroud step up in the pocket, throws a little bit off balance, but does a good job of not letting himself get too off balance. The receiver on this play is Xavier Hutchinson. So you see, you see the situation. He is open, but there is number 20 for San Francisco closer towards the sideline. Could run in and try and make a play on this. So there's definitely traffic. It's going to take a good catch, even if it was a good job by Stroud to put it in this situation. But watch Hutchinson just make a play. And you know what? Sometimes you need that, right? Sometimes you need a receiver to just make a play. And it felt like certainly last week against Seattle, you would have liked to see more of this. Well, in this week, you saw more of it. Really a strong performance from Houston. And again, the Texans defense is just so good, right? That the offense doesn't have to be elite. The offense doesn't have to be awesome. But picking up blitzes, running the ball decently well, being able to run play action and doing these kind of things decently well, that's going to make a big difference. Especially, tough stretch for them coming up. You got the Broncos and the Jaguars, two teams that have played, have good records this season. I think the Jaguars are we're still trying to figure them out. The Broncos are a good team. Houston will get a breather against Tennessee, but then they got to play Buffalo, Indianapolis, and Kansas City. Those are the three teams currently with the best odds to make the Super Bowl out of the AFC, and you got to play them three straight, in 3 straight games. That's kind of the game, those stretch you got to come out ahead on, and they still play the Colts again because they're division rivals. You play the Chargers, then the Cardinals and Raiders are a little bit easier. So schedule isn't too easy. That's kind of the issue, but a win like this can potentially help get things going, but definitely they're going to have to, especially in the AFC South, which doesn't seem like a division you can win with how good the Colts are unless you sweep them. You're going to have to make sure that you take care of business like this. So interesting stuff. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.